Good morning, students. Today we'll continue with the literary terms alliteration, personification, and onomatopoeia. Now, alliteration is the repetition of the same sounds, usually initial consonants of words or of stressed syllables in any sequence of neighboring words like landscape, lover, lot of language. Now, in this figure of speech, in alliteration, you have to remember that this is only repetition of the same sounds and even of stressed syllables. Now, in stressed syllables, like for example, hedgehog. Now, in this word, hog is also stressed, H is also stressed. So, here you have stressed syllable, so you have to remember this repetition होगा इसमें कोई भी वर्ड जैसे यहाँ पे एग्जाम्पल है लैंडस्केप लव यहाँ पे एल जो अल्फ़ाबेट है वो रिपीट हो रहा है लॉर्ड ऑफ लैंग्वेज वापस एल जो वर्ड है वो रिपीट हो रहा है सो अल्ट्रेशन इज नथिंग इट्स जस्ट रिपीटिशन ऑफ द सेम साउंड्स एंड इट्स रिपीटिशन ऑफ द स्ट्रेस्ड syllables. Now, an optional and incidental decorative effect in verse or prose, it was once a required element in the poetry of Germanic languages, that is, Old English and Old Norse. Now, in ancient times, what used to happen? It was an essential element. Like if you remember Piers the Plowman, in in that work, there is the poet has used alliterative words because it was a necessity to use to use this element in ancient times, but now it is not that compulsion. Now it is merely used to for decorative effect, you could say, and now it's only optional. It is used to create, now poets used to create mood and rhythm, so they'll use alliteration. And it is also used to create an impact, or if the poet need to emphasize on something, then he'll use this figure of speech. Now you have to remember one thing. You have to remember difference between two terms, consonance and assonance. Now consonance is also repetition, but consonance is the repetition of two or more consonants, whereas assonance is the repetition of vowel sounds. A, E, I, O, U. These are vowels, and if these vowels are repeating, then it is known as assonance. Like go and catch a falling star. Okay, in this line, you could clearly notice repetition of vowel sound A in catch C A falling वापस A आ रहा है तो you could easily notice that A sound is repeating. So if vowel sound repeats, then it is known as assonance. Now, if you look at these examples, days in this dark world and wide, again, D is repeating days, dark, W is repeating word and wide, but patience to prevent, again, P is repeating. If thou beest born to strange sights, again, S is repeating while words of learned length, again in this line also, the word W and L, they are repeating. And in also Shakespeare's famous poem Seven Ages of Man, wherein he describes the seventh age or the last age, and he says that this age is particularly marked, or you could say is characteristic. And in that poem he says the last line is sans teeth, sans eyes, sans everything. So the word sans, it's also repeating. Sans means without. So even the words also repeat itself. It is also known as repetition. I think it's clear to you what is an alliteration. Now, the next figure of speech is personification, and I'm sure you have heard about this term. Now, it is a figure of speech by which Animals, abstract ideas, or inanimate things are referred to as if they were human. Okay, so in personification, what happens is that abstract qualities, non living entities, they are given human shape and human form. Like, for example, dancing flowers, howling winds. So फ्लावर्स जो है वो डांस नहीं करते हैं, या विंड्स जो है वो कभी हाउल नहीं करती हैं, लेकिन विंड्स को ये जो नॉन लिविंग थिंग्स हैं उनमें ऐसे कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स, उनमें जो ह्यूमंस के कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स हैं उससे अटैच करके उन्हें डिस्क्राइब किया जाता है, उसे ही हम पर्सोनिफिकेशन कहते हैं। एब्स्ट्रैक्ट आइडियाज़ को बोल दो या आप कोई भी नॉन लिविंग थिंग को बोल दो, एनिमल्स का, सो यू कुड से दैट it is nothing but if you apply human characteristics to these non living entities, then we talk, or if we talk about these non living beings as if they were human, so in a way we are personifying them, we personify them. And personification is also a kind of metaphor. So in Greek, the term is referred as prosopoia and is common in most ages of poetry and particularly in the 18th century. But it has a special function as the basis of allegory. Now, allegory is also a story which have a second meaning, but basically that meaning, that second meaning is hidden behind its literal or visible meaning. तो allegory में जो personification है वो मेन डिवाइस होती है. If you remember John Bunyan's work Pilgrim's Progress, you'll see that in this work he has personified death, hypocrisy, despair. So डेथ, hypocrisy, despair, ये जो है उसे personify किया, और actually ये सारे characters हैं इस work में, Pilgrim's Progress में. See, now these are examples. See that bears her bosom to the moon, the winds that will be howling at all hours. Now, this poem is, of course, in your course. Sea को personify किया है as a woman. Winds को personify किया है as if the winds are howling. Sleeping flowers, or you could say dancing flowers. So इन सारे एग्जाम्पल्स में, इन सारी लाइन्स में ये जो कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स है वो नॉन लिविंग थिंग्स को दिए हैं, उसे ही हम पर्सोनिफिकेशन कहते हैं. लाइक बट पेशेंस टू प्रिवेंट. ओके, नाउ onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is the use of words that seem to imitate the sounds they refer to, or any combination of words in which the sound gives the impression of echoing the sense. Onomatopoeia is only sound words. If you जो sound words होते हैं which imitate the natural sound of a thing, that is onomatopoeia. Like if you notice water sounds like splash, sprinkle, drip, drop, ये जो sounds हैं वो सारी onomatopoeic sounds हैं. That and in another words, you could say that the sounds which come out of the mouth, like gargle, mumble, growl, these all are also onomatopoeic. Apart from that, animal sounds like bark or buzz, chirp, moo, these all are animal sounds. These all sounds are also onomatopoeic, like the buzzing bee, the rustling leaves, collision sounds. So these sounds, onomatopoeia, is basically known as sound words. Okay, I think it's clear to you. Thank you.